Here we go. I do have some important reminders for you guys, and it's really, it's really important that you take a look at these and make sure that you RSVP if you're able to attend. So I've linked them to this document for our agenda today. Let me just show you some upcoming events. And of course, on Wednesday, I hope to see, I know a couple of you will be there at the Denver Zoo. So last minute, but definitely RSVP if you're planning on coming on Wednesday. Now, a couple of you have already RSVP'd for our virtual art station on April 8th. And I know, like Tristan, for instance, he can't be here in person. So he RSVP'd to get one of the spots to be a virtual attendee. If you can attend in person, that's probably preferable. It's on April 8th in the Cantrell building. But if you can't, I mean, that's completely understandable. So we definitely want you to come, but you have to make sure that you RSVP. If you don't RSVP, then I won't send you the materials, and then you won't know what you're doing because you won't have any of the stuff. Does that make sense for everyone? Okay. It's going to be really cool. It's merging space science and scientific illustration. So we're going to be pretending that we're on Jupiter's moon Titan. And it really looks like it. And so he's going to be kind of like doing a broadcast from the moon Titan and teaching us a lot about science and art at the same time. So,
I have a question.
sure.
On what day is it?
It's April 8th. So that's next Tuesday. So not tomorrow, but like a little over a week away. So yes, and Adam, welcome. You just joined us. How are you, Adam?
Hi.
Hi. So I was just telling all these kiddos that it's really important that you RSVP for these events, and I know you've already RSVP'd for the zoo, Adam. But make sure. I know you're probably one of those kiddos who would love to attend this virtual art station virtually. So make sure you RSVP, okay? So I know to send you the materials. And then
Okay.
if anybody is interested, obviously bowling has to be in person. There's no way to bowl virtually. That'd be interesting if there were. But you
Use a
make sure,
mechanical arm.
yeah, exactly. And then our very end of the year type of picnic or whatever is on May 13th. So um, those are linked for you right here on your document, on your agenda. Another important announcement I have before we get started is that on April 14th, that's going to be the beginning of our book clubs. And they're really fun. You're going to have a different job to complete every week. You have another like interim and summative performance task. And you're like, what is
What?
that? You've done a ton
What?
of performance tasks.
What book do we need?
I was just gonna get to that. So you might be wondering, oh, what book am I assigned to? Well, I linked the site to the agenda because I want you to go and explore the site. So I'm going to show it on my screen. It's going to look kind of small to you guys, but it'll look normal when you go to it. Okay, so over here we have the job descriptions. We have a choice on how you would possibly present your projects. Oh, good. We have Claire and not Tianjane, sorry, it's Micah. Welcome, guys. And then right here are the two different books. Here's Number of the Stars and then Island of the Blue Dolphins. So what you need to do is click on both and find your name. You're only in one. So, for instance, Tristan, you're assigned to the book Island of the Blue Dolphins. Claire, who just joined us, she would be Island of the Blue Dolphins. Micah, who just joined us, you need to, and Adam and Grace Elizabeth, you're all in Island of the Blue Dolphins. Number of the Stars, it looks like Patrick would be in that group and a couple of our other kiddos. Okay? So, are there any questions on your book club site and where to find which book you need?
Nope.
Okay, great.
Nope. I will just after the VC, I can tell my brother to order it for me, and then it should be in your like in a week and a half.
Exactly. And so that's why I wanted to give you plenty of time to get it so that you have it by April 14th, okay? Because that's when we'll start needing it.
Um, how long do we need to be able to have it?
About a month.
Oh,
So, you
I
might
don't
have,
know.
if you check it out from the library, you might have to renew it. So,
Yeah.
and I'm getting a couple messages that, well, I didn't know about it and blah blah blah. Well, you know about it now. Also, let me just remind you guys, this is super important every single week. And this has been on there for weeks and weeks at a time. I update your announcements in your homeroom, okay? So it's taking forever to get there, but let me just show you again. Hello, homeroom. So most of you are in grades 4 or 5. Okay, announcements are coming up. Check out the announcements. You're going to have progress reports. They're going to be updated by next Monday. I will send you more information on that. Here are VC
So,
schedule reminders. Here
so
is
they
what I.
have all of the information.
What was that, Tristan? Sorry.
So they have all of the information.
Absolutely. The book club site, what I was just talking about, Claire, is, well, it's been on here for a long time now. So make sure every week that you check your announcements. Okay.
I looked into the book club site like a month ago,
Yeah.
but for some reason it wouldn't let me. I guess it was just a problem with the computer. It wouldn't let me move around. Like it just froze up. So
Oh,
that's
it's
why I
probably your
didn't have a
computer.
chance to look at it.
Definitely. Okay. Well, yeah, it's up and running now for sure. So make
Good.
sure you take a look. All right,
Okay.
friends. Woohoo! Okay, that's my announcements. Are we ready to get started with what we have planned for today?
Mhm.
Yep.
Yay!
Yep.
Okay, well, right before spring break, which seems like forever ago, we had a really fun virtual classroom where we talked about a healthy plate and what, not the plate being healthy, but the food on it being healthy and what it should look like and what it should be composed of. So, first of all, did anyone spend a little bit of time playing that game that we were playing together, Blast Off?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah, well, not a huge deal. Sorry, I'm going to turn it off. But as you can see, I've linked it for you again, so you can
Excuse
definitely.
me, Miss Bruns.
Uh huh.
Is that one on the top, our serving sizes versus measurements due today?
Yes, it was, but I'm not going to get too upset. I know a couple people, might have forgotten over spring break, but we do have some kiddos who have examples to show, so that's perfect. Yeah. Okay. So what we're gonna do, just remember I've linked that game for you again, so if you want to play it. But what we were
Sure,
supposed to,
I will.
it's fun, is
Yeah.
show 3 foods of a portion size that you would like to have. Then show the same food with only one serving size. Okay, so you had to look at the label and see how much the serving size was. And then you had to actually get out some measuring cups and measure what you wanted. So let's just say you were doing ice cream and you wanted 3 cups, but the serving size you had to measure out maybe like half a cup, okay, for a serving size. So let's take a look at some pictures. And I know Tristan, you had some pictures to share, right?
Yep.
Perfect. Well, I will make you the presenter, my friend. So you're gonna be.
I hope it's the right things. So for each food, I took a picture of show my screen. Let's see.
It's
I took a picture of um first what I would like to eat, and then what the serving size shows. So
that's
in this
exact.
case, it's chocolate cherries. Um, and let's see if I can get into it. I'm trying to get into it.
Yep, it looks like.
It takes a while. So this is 1/3 of a cup of chocolate cherries, and that's what I wanted to eat. So that's how much I wanted to eat. And so how do I get out of like this?
There you go.
And then the next picture was, let's see, this takes a while.
It's okay. Don't worry.
So this is the serving size. It was 1/4 of a cup.
Okay, so which one is smaller?
The one on the serving size label. So
Absolutely. So 1/4 of a cup is a lot smaller, and we can look at pictures of these pretty soon, than 1/3. So imagine like a pizza, and imagine it cut into 4 sections.
right.
And then close your eyes and
Each
imagine
section would be smaller. Each piece would be
yes,
smaller. But if you
had it
did
cut into
it into
3,
1/3, the pieces would be much bigger.
much bigger. Exactly. Okay.
So the next one is just the nutrition label, the chocolate cherries. Do you want to do that?
Love chocolate cherries.
That's the container. So here is the serving size, about 1/4 of a cup. So I put that in.
So keep that picture up for a second. Oh, go back to it. Let's look at the rest of the label because
Okay.
yeah. I mean, it was interesting. That was 180 calories for that 1/4 of a cup. Did you know that a small meal, if you had like 6 small meals a day, could be like 200 calories? So that's pretty much, that's almost a meal. That's crazy. As many calories as you would need. And then I was
Sorry, it's not allowing me to get back into. Oh, let's see now I can.
There it goes. Look how much sugar. Oh my goodness. 19 grams of sugar. That is definitely a treat. If you are looking at, let's just say you're looking at peanut butter, for instance. If you have like 4 grams of sugar in your peanut butter per serving, that's quite a bit. Look for like snacks that have 2 or less grams of sugar.
Right?
I mean, I'm not saying don't eat this stuff. I mean, just every now,
No.
but
Yeah, and once I heard that, I chose like 1/3 of a cup, and like, okay, from now on I'll only eat like 1/4 of a cup or less.
Exactly. Yeah, because out of, oh my goodness, there's 180 calories and 80 of them are directly from fat. That's quite a lot.
Right.
Okay. Sorry, I'm getting
And
excited.
it only has 2 grams of protein, so
Yeah, it doesn't have any protein and no vegetable vitamins or anything like that. So, yeah.
right.
Okay.
Okay, so next was yogurt raisins, and first I showed the nutrition label. Open. So here is the nutrition label for it. They're a little bit healthier than the other food. They only have 150 calories. They have 2 grams of protein.
Mm-hmm.
And the serving size is 2 tablespoons. So yeah.
2 tablespoons, though, I think is even less than 1/4 of a cup. So, if you had 1/4 of a cup of those raisins that you just showed us, you actually might have more calories and sugar than the chocolate covered cherries. Isn't that crazy? It's all about the serving size. So, do you have pictures of what 2 tablespoons looks like versus what you wanted?
Oh, now I can understand you again.
Oh, sorry, Tristan. Do you have any other pictures about the yogurt? Showing the yogurt?
Yep. Then there's this picture.
Okay.
So this is let's see, allow. Before I knew about the serving size, I chose 1 tablespoon of these. So that's about how much I would eat.
Okay.
That's what I put in. And then for the next one, and this is 2 tablespoons. I just put them in a bigger bowl because I didn't have a measuring thing for 2 tablespoons.
Oh, okay. Oh,
So those are 2 tablespoons. That was the serving size.
all
So
right.
I chose less than what the serving size was.
And that's actually really good. So you actually would want less than what the serving size. That's good because
Yeah.
they have a lot of sugar too. But yeah,
If you eat less of them, and then it's a lot more healthier. I
yes.
mean, chocolate will never be healthy, but it's not as unhealthy. Yeah.
Well, if
So
you eat
here's the
chocolate, try to
nutrition
eat.
label for my.
Oh, go ahead.
Excuse me? No, you said something. I just couldn't
So
hear.
what?
Okay, I'll just show this. I'll just show this.
And yep, allow.
So this is the next food that I chose, the last one, and it's like a bar mix. Like it's got like pretzels, like corn seeds, and like sesame sticks, nuts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is probably one of my healthiest foods on the list actually. So it's got 5 grams of protein and actually 1 gram of sugar, which is very little actually. And then it's got 150 calories, and 80 calories are from fat, which is not so good. And the serving size is 1/4 of a cup.
Perfect. Okay, so we're gonna look at a couple more pictures. Oh yeah. Okay, so what is this? This is how much you want, or is that a serving size?
Let's see. I'm pretty sure this is. That's. Oh yeah, now I remember. That's what the serving size was and what I chose. So I, before I looked at the serving size, I poured in 1/4 of a cup,
Upstairs.
and then I saw the serving size. It was 1/4 of a cup.
Oh, nice. So that actually worked out. You wanted what the serving size was.
Right.
I'm looking at that and I'm like, I think I could probably crush that in like 2 seconds. So I would want a whole lot more of it. But that's
So
actually
would I.
it's not a bad snack at all. So that's
I mean, for a small snack, I would take 1/4 of a cup. Yeah, definitely.
yeah, it kind of I guess depends on how hungry you are. Tristan, that
Right.
was fabulous. You definitely
Thanks.
you did a great job of showing us what a serving size looks like compared to what you tend to actually pour yourself out, and what the fat and calories are in these snacks that you eat. That's great.
Thanks.
And now I'm going to turn it over to Emma because she has some pictures to show us as well. So we're going to be viewing Emma's screen. Okay, good. Okay, so Emma, make sure that your microphone is on because it's off right now. And then you can tell us what we're looking at.
So that is the picture that I would like to show.
Okay.
Or that I would like.
Okay, yeah, click OK.
So the blue bowl is what I would like. The green bowl is the actual measurement. That's the measuring cup we use. And that's the serving size.
Okay.
I know it's hard to see, but it says 3/4 of a cup.
Okay.
This is just over 3/4 of a cup.
Okay, so what you chose, what you would normally pour yourself, is a little bit more than maybe what you're supposed to have or whatever for what serving size, but not bad. Let's if we could kind of turn our head sideways. How is this as far as a cereal choice? Let's see. Can't see.
This is the only one I did because I forgot because we went on a trip.
It's 10 o'clock.
That's okay. That's totally fine. You can't see it on this label, but there is kind of a lot of sugar in Lucky Charms. It's I'd say
Yeah,
maybe more of a snack than actually a breakfast food, but
yeah.
it's not, I mean, like I said, everything in moderation. I mean, just don't go overboard. So,
With
very,
my um, with my with my cereal, it has like 16 grams of protein and I think like 2 grams of sugar.
that's not bad. Okay. All right. Did anybody else have some pictures of foods and versus portion sizes that they'd like to show us?
I don't.
Okay. Well, that's all right.
I do.
We had some super good examples. When you are, pouring yourself a bowl of cereal or, run into the cabinet to grab some yogurt covered raisins or whatever, just kind of be cognizant of how much you give yourself versus what the label says maybe you should have for just one serving size. Okay?
Miss Bruns,
Yes,
can I ask you a question?
you can.
I haven't done this yet, so can I work on it today and have it ready on Thursday?
Sure, Adam. Don't stress about it too much. Maybe instead of three, maybe just do one. Um, because at the end of today, you're going to have something else to do as well. So I don't want you to be overloaded. Okay. So
Okay, so,
maybe like one food, like Emma did, instead of three.
right.
Okay. So let's move on. Um, so this is, kind of a stretch, but we're talking about portions of food that you would put onto a plate. And, usually plates are either circles or squares. So you can kind of think about how much area and space your food takes up on your plate, okay? And how much it should take
Yeah.
up versus, like how much of it should be vegetables, how much of it should be fruit, and so on. So we're going to watch and I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody so it's nice and quiet for the video. We're going to watch a video on irregular shapes. It's going to talk a little bit about regular as well, like a regular square. But irregular is a little bit more like what you would see if you're talking about food. Like think of like mashed potatoes on a plate. It's not going to be a perfect circle of mashed potatoes. It's going to look kind of, like an irregular shape. So let's learn a little bit about area. And then we can think about area I hate that intro, when we're scooping food onto our plates. Okay. All right. So when you guys are replying, because it's going to ask you some questions, and yes, Claire, you can bring yours Thursday. It's going to ask you some questions during this video. You're going to type your answers into the chat, okay? Because it'll just keep it nice and quiet.
Chelsea and I are building a putting green in my backyard. We have already built a base shape like this.
Our plan is to cover the surface with a green outdoor carpet, but to do that, we'll need to know how to determine the area of the shape. Then we'll know how much carpet we'll need.
Before we build the green, let's take a look at how to determine the area and perimeter of irregular shapes. Here's a quick review of area and perimeter. This line is 1 unit in length. If we take 4 of these units and form a square, we end up with 1 square unit. These are irregular shapes. We can measure the area of these shapes in square units, and we can measure the perimeter of these shapes in units.
Okay, so regular shapes like that square that you saw are really easy to find, but irregular shapes, not as much. So let's learn a little more.
Let's take a closer look at this shape. We'll find the perimeter of this shape. Remember, perimeter is the distance around a closed figure.
Think of it as like a fence. It's the fencing.
What is the perimeter of this shape? Enter your answer in the space provided, then click the check button.
All right, so this is where you guys will be doing this. Go ahead and enter what you think the perimeter of this shape might be into the chat. Okay, got one answer so far. Okay, good. A lot of people are saying 22. Perfect. Yay, you are correct.
Let's find the perimeter of another irregular shape. Click on each side of the shape to find its length.
Okay,
Be sure to click every side.
So perimeter is pretty easy. Again, this is like the fencing around. So add it up as we go. Okay, when you have the total, type it into the chat. Okay, so we have one answer so far. So to find perimeter, you're just going to add all of the numbers up. 1.5 plus 0.5, that's 2. Plus another 0.5 is 2.5, that's 3. 3 plus 0.75 is 3.75. Plus another 0.75. That would make it what? 4.5. 4.5 plus 1.75. 6.25.
What is the perimeter of this shape? You may use the calculator to find the answer.
Sorry.
Enter your answer in the
I was
space
correct,
provided,
right?
then click the check button.
Yes. Sorry, I'm doing this for everybody who wants me to kind of add it up and show them. You don't really need a calculator for this, though, guys. This could be pretty mental math, because think of it, they're all really easy numbers. Okay. All right.
It's easy to measure a perimeter of a shape that has straight edges.
Yeah.
You just measure all the edges and add up the total. It's a little trickier when you have shapes that have curved edges, like this one.
Mashed potatoes.
What is the best tool for measuring the perimeter of this shape? Click on the tool of your choice.
Okay, so if I were, going to measure some mashed potatoes on my plate, which one of these tools would help me do that? Okay, so Claire thinks the string. I agree. The string would go around to find the perimeter, I think the easiest. Good.
Now to find the exact perimeter of the shape, we must measure the length of the string. What is the perimeter of the shape? Enter your answer in the space provided, then click the check button.
Super easy on this one. Okay.
Let's use the same string to make a new shape. What is the perimeter of the shape? Enter your answer in the space provided, then click the check button.
Okay, so this is my pile of peas. This is pretty easy. What do you think my perimeter is? Yep, it's the same. They were trying to trick you. They didn't change the length of that string at all. It's okay, Adam. If they would have cut it, then it would have been different, but they didn't cut it. They just rearranged it. Okay, area.
We've looked at ways to find the perimeter of irregular shapes. Now let's look at the area of irregular shapes. We'll find the area of this shape. Remember, area is the number of square units needed to cover a region. Let's see what happens if we place a grid over this irregular shape, like we do with regular shapes. What is the approximate area of this shape? Enter your estimate in the space provided, then click the Enter button.
Okay, so area is how much space this takes up. So just give me an estimate. What do you think? Just kind of eyeballing it. Claire says 12, maybe 12. Adam says 13. Okay, yeah. Not a big deal. It's just an estimate. We're going to learn how to find it for an exact amount.
We can use the grid to count the whole square units that are covered by the shape. But what can we do with the partial square units? Watch carefully. We are able to make 4 whole square units by rearranging the partial units. Now we can add these square units to the other 8 square units to get a total of 12 square units.
Okay, great estimate for those of you who said 12.
The area of this irregular shape is 12 square units.
Perfect.
Take a moment to compare your estimate with the actual answer. Click play when you're ready to continue.
Okay, we did good.
Click on 2 partial square units to form a whole square unit. Repeat this process until you've clicked on all of the partial square units.
Okay.
When you're finished, click on the check button.
I'm going to challenge you a little bit more. What do you think the area of this shape is that we're looking at before I start moving things around? I see 4 right away. 1, 2, 3, 4. But then, good, Emma, good, Claire. I need to move. How am I going to do this? Oh, there we go. There. Okay, now I moved those partial pieces. And what do you think the area is now? What do you think, Adam? Looks like 6, right?
What is the area of this shape? Enter your answer in the space.
6 square units. Perfect.
I think we're ready to figure out how much carpet we'll need to cover our putting green. This is the shape of our green. We'll lay this grid over the shape to help us measure the area. Each square on the grid represents 1 square meter. Click on 2 partial square units to form a whole square unit. Repeat this process until you have clicked on all the partial square units. When you are finished, click on the check button.
Okay, I'm going to challenge you again before I start moving things around. To give me your estimate, how many square meters do you think this shape is? Okay, all right, so we got some estimates. I'll start moving stuff around, making them whole so that it's easier to see. Okay, now what do you think? How many square meters? Okay, good. Everybody is saying 8.
What is the area of the shape? Enter your answer in the space provided, then click on the check button.
Good.
Now that we know how much green carpet we need, let's add it to the surface of our putting green. And we'll finish it off with the hole and the flag. It's time to putt. Click on the putt button to putt the ball.
Oh, whoops.
Whoops! We forgot to put a border around the edge of our putting green to stop the ball from rolling off.
Oh. So
Click on each side of the putting green to find its length. Be sure to click every side.
Oh, so we found the area. Now we have to find the perimeter so we can build that fence. Okay, so add them up for me. Might be a calculator coming.
What is the perimeter of the putting green? You may use the calculator to find the answer. Enter your answer in the space provided, then click on the check button.
Bonus if you can beat the calculator. You might be able to because I can't type very well. All right. Okay. 2.8. Did I add that wrong? I don't know. Maybe I clicked something wrong in there. Who knows? Oh, no, I did it right. Okay.
Now we can add the edging to our putting green to make a border. And we're ready to putt again.
All right, we'll try.
Click on the putt button to putt the ball. That was fun.
It sure was. Hey, that reminds me of a joke about a guy who went golfing and took two...
Okay, we don't want to hear your joke. All right, so we just practiced finding area and perimeter. Now, you don't necessarily do that very often when you're thinking about food on your plate, but you can, and it might be kind of fun to practice. So on your own after today, if you want to watch another video on area and perimeter, I've linked one for you. It's just a little bit more information. So if you found what we just did hard, that might be something that you would go to make sure that you understand it really well. I've also linked for you formulas. So if you're like, I don't remember how to find the area of, let's just say, you guys are probably going to be working with, like the area of a square. Here's the formula of the area of a square, how to find it. I don't think you're going to have anything that's triangular, but well, maybe you arrange like a triangle of carrots or something on your plate. But okay, so those are all of your formulas linked for you. Let's see how much time we have. Oh, we're kind of running low. Grace Elizabeth, Grace Elizabeth kind of wants a dance party, but what I'd like to do is think about the area of a circle, which you probably need to know a little bit more about parts of a circle before you can find the area of a circle or the area of your plate. And then find how much the food takes up on that
Draw
area.
a circle and label the radius, diameter, center, and circumference. Let me draw a circle. It won't be that well drawn of a circle, but I think you get the idea. So that is my circle.
Yeah, that's your
I'm
plate.
going to label the center over here. So I'll do the center, I'll call it C. So that is my center, and I'll draw an arrow there. That is the center of the circle. And actually, the circle itself is the set of all points that are a fixed distance away from that center. And that fixed distance away, that they're all from that center, that is the radius. So let me draw the radius. So this distance right over here is the radius. That is the radius. And that's going to be the same as this distance, which is the same as that distance. I can draw multiple radii. All of these are radii. The distance between the center and any point on the circle. Now a diameter just goes straight across the circle, going through the center, from one side of the circle to the other side, going through the center. And it's essentially two radii put together. So for example, this would be a diameter. That would be a diameter. You have one radii, then another radii, all one line, going from one side of the circle to the other, going through the center.
Okay, so those are parts of a circle. This is also linked for you on your agenda if you need to review that. How to find the area of a circle. So the area of, let's say, like your dinner plate. Here we go.
To the outside, to the boundary of the circle. So it would be this distance right over here, which is exactly half of the diameter.
Oops, I guess this kind of started in the middle of the video.
Area of each candy.
Oh well.
So the candy, they say it's the shape of circular discs, and they tell us that the diameter of each wafer is 16 millimeters. If I draw a line across the circle that goes through the center, the length of that line all the way across the circle through the center is 16 millimeters. So diameter here is 16 millimeters. And they want us to figure out the area of the surface of this candy, or essentially the area of this circle. And so when we think about area, we know that the area of a circle is equal to pi times the radius of the circle squared, times the radius of the circle squared. You say, well, they gave it.
Does anybody know what pi is equal to? Yes, Tyler, you're a couple minutes early, but that's okay, just hang out. Pi is equal to 3.14. That's why they call March 14th Pi Day, because it's 3-14. So what you would do, if this is the diameter and the diameter equals 16, that would mean that the radius would have to be 8, right? Because the radius is half of the diameter. So you would calculate 3.14 times 8 squared. 8 squared just means 8 times 8. So what's 8 times 8, everybody? 64. Oh, your microphones are off. Sorry. Okay. There you go. So that would be how you
64.
found. Exactly. That's how you would find the area of that circle. So I'm going to stop it there. These are all linked for you. Oh, go away, video. Okay. And for next time, those of you who weren't able to find portion sizes and want to take pictures of a portion size, please do that as well. But take it one step further. So those of you who have already got pictures, you might be a step ahead because now all you have to do is find one of those examples and find the area and or perimeter. So some of you, area might be kind of complicated. So you might want to just do the perimeter. All of those formulas and everything you need to know are back here for you. Let's just do like one example, like mashed potatoes. Finding the perimeter of mashed potatoes would be pretty easy if I just cut like a string and measured it and it came out to be 7 inches long. Well, there you go. There's my perimeter of my mashed potatoes. Let's say you want to do an orange. And
So I have to do one of the 3 examples that I showed in the lesson.
You don't have to. You can find a new one if you'd like.
Okay.
Maybe
and I'll use a string, I guess.
Okay, yeah. Maybe you want to do a pancake, and for the most part, I mean, they're not perfect circles, but for the most part, they're circles. So maybe you would find the area of a pancake using the formula. Oops, okay. Sorry, my cat just walked in front of me and I can't spell anymore. Formula of a circle. Or let's say maybe you kind of have like a square. I know it's not going to be exact, guys. It's food, so whatever. A square, let's say carrots, something that's kind of hard. You make like a little square of carrots. Well, you can find the area of a square pretty easily by using some measurements. Okay? So it'll be kind of fun just to kind of see what we can come up with for our next virtual classroom on Thursday. So my 9:30 group, you are free to go. And if you really want to have a dance party while you leave Grace and Elizabeth, you can do that. And my 10:15ers are showing up. So, yeah.
Bye.
All right. Bye, 9:30.
Bye,
Thanks,
everyone.
Bruns.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, 9:30.
Bye.
I promise I'll do that thing next time.
Bye.
It's fine.
Bye bye.
Bye, Micah. He's funny. Bye, Tristan.
So the project is due on Monday, right? Next Monday, correct?
Let's share them on Thursday. Don't stress over it. If you can't do it by Thursday, then you can wait till Monday. But try to have it done by Thursday if you can.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Hi, 10:15ers. We're quiet. Okay. Well, let's wait a couple minutes until because we have Charlie and Tyler, and I know Clara will be here, so we'll wait just a few minutes for some more 10:15ers to show up. But how was everybody's spring break? Good. Okay. Well, I'm glad you're here. I know it's hard to come back after a break. Anybody do anything exciting? Go anywhere? And since your microphones are off, you're going to have to type, I guess. I had a friend come and visit me. Oh, Tyler was packing. Ooh, fun. Well, you know, it is what it is. It was a break. Oh, good. We got 2 people showing up right now. Hi, Clara.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Good. Hi, Sienna.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Awesome. All right. Well, I know, people will start straggling in kind of late just because that's how it goes the day after a long break. But we're going to go ahead and get started. First of all, I want to remind you guys about some important announcements. I've linked them right here on the agenda for you, so you can just click. want you to check out this document. And, okay, it's taking a minute, but here it goes. All right, so hopefully if you're coming to the Denver Zoo on Wednesday, you've already RSVP'd, but it's not too late to go ahead and do that. Hopefully I'll get to see some of you on Wednesday. And then this one is really cool. That's next Tuesday, so April 8th. We are going to have a virtual art station with a scientist who's going to be merging space science and scientific illustration. So he is going to be broadcasting basically from Titan, Jupiter's moon, and teaching us a lot about science and art at the same time. So this one you absolutely 100% have to RSVP for if you are going to attend. We prefer you to come in person if at all possible, because it's just easier because there's materials that we have to have, like things that you have to use. But we understand if you can't come in person and you would like to attend virtually. You must RSVP like today so that I can send the materials to your house and you'll have them in time. Okay, happy face in the chat if that makes sense. Okay, and I know some of you already RSVP'd, so you know, whatever, you don't have to do it again. But I want to see all of you there, either in person or virtually. And then on May 2nd, this has to be in person, obviously, it's bowling. So maybe if you would like to come bowling, and this is a K through 12 field trip again, make sure to RSVP. And then at the end of the year, or towards the end of the year, we have our party at Centennial Park on May 13th. So make sure you RSVP. All right. And that's okay, Sienna. And yes, we are, Claire. All right, Clara. Sorry. Yes.
I was just looking at when my mom went to go check out the links. None of them worked except for the first one.
On which one?
On the like on the zoo trip, it worked fine, but when she went to like the virtual art station and stuff and bowling and that, it wouldn't load up.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Send me an email, and I'm gonna. Well, you know what? Maybe I'll just send them to everybody or something. But send me an email if you were not able to RSVP for the virtual art station. Okay? Because this is what they look like. I'm kind of flashing them on the screen right now, so I'll definitely make sure that you get them. Okay?
Okay.
All right. And anything else that if you can't, like here's the bowling RSVP. That's what that looks like. If you, for whatever reason, click on them and they're not going to work, send me an email and I'll make sure you get it.
All right.
Okay, my next announcement before we get started is we have a book club starting on April 14th. And I'm telling you this now so that you have plenty of time to go and get that book, like rent it from the library or whatever you're going to do. So I'm going to take you to the site where you're going to find which book you're reading, and you're going to find a lot more information. So let's see. This is a description of all of the different jobs that you're going to do every week. So for instance, connector, if you're a connector for 1 week, that's your job description. Here are our assessments, and don't worry, I'll tell you way before any of them are ever due. But then most of you guys, I think, are in this group, Number the Stars. And yeah, I think so. I think, except maybe Jaden, you might be in this one. Yeah, you're in Island of the Blue Dolphins, Jaden. So you need to click on one of these two books and find your name and make sure that you get the correct book. So happy face in the chat if you understand how to do that. This is also linked on your announcements in your homeroom page. Okay? Always an important place to look every week. All right. So first thing we're gonna do is we are going to right before spring break. We played a really fun game where we created healthy plates. Did anybody get a chance to play that game?
I did.
Good. I'm glad. Well, I linked it for you again. And yes, Clara, that's you have to get the book for yourself, definitely. So if you want to play it, it's here for you. But what you were supposed to do is take three pictures of foods of what you would like to serve yourself versus what the serving amount says that you need. Um, so did anybody do that and would like to share? Anybody? Oh no. Okay, Clara. Yay. All right, Clara, I'm going to make you the presenter. So make sure you turn your microphone on.
Okay.
And then we're going to be taking a look at what you did.
Okay, so these were just basic crackers, but they're really tasty. The serving size is 4, and I would rather have more like um 10.
I agree. So, what did you notice when you were looking at the food label? Did these have a lot of salt? Did they have a lot of calories? Um,
um, I don't remember, but I do think they're high in sodium.
they are definitely, I can tell you, crackers are pretty high in sodium, and they're white type of wheat. So it's
Yeah,
all, or white type of flour. I'm sorry. It's always better to have like wheat flour if possible. That's probably one of the reasons why there's only four on the serving size compared to like 10 or whatever you have there.
yeah. And then this was, I took 2 pictures, so this is the serving size, which is one package, and this is how much I would like to have because I think Cheetos are really disgusting.
Oh, good. That's good. And if you look at the label of Cheetos, Cheetos are basically there is no like nutritional value to Cheetos. Let's just put it that way. So
It's just a bunch of cheese.
Yeah.
they're
It's
empty,
really just a
empty
bunch of cheese
calories.
soaked up in the bread.
Empty calories. So that's good. That's pretty clever, Clara.
Okay, so this is the serving size of one of those Cliff Bars, and it's backwards because the camera is kind of weird. But anyways, um, yeah, so that's the serving size, and usually I eat them when I'm at dance, so I'd rather have like 3 because I'm usually really hungry and they're really good to me.
They are, but definitely try not to have three because those have enough calories. I could just tell you right away. Those have enough calories to make a small meal. Um,
Yeah,
which that's the purpose because you're supposed to be exercising hard, like this guy that you see rock climbing or whatever on the on the label. Um, but yeah, definitely don't eat three of them because there are a lot of sugars in those prepackaged type of bars. Okay.
yeah.
All right. Anybody else have some pictures of food they'd like to show us?
I did mine. I just wasn't able to show a picture. It would
Okay.
end up leaking into the computer for some reason.
Well, you'll have another chance. We're going to share on Thursday. I'll just skip ahead to what I'd like you to do for Thursday. Um, I'm only asking for one example for Thursday instead of three. So maybe you can do all of it at once. You can find a picture of something that you would like to serve yourself versus the serving size. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take it a step further. You're going to find the area of that food. You guys are old enough that you could probably find the area. Perimeter's a little easy for you guys, so I'm just going to delete that. So here's just one example, and then we're going to go and learn a little bit about how to do this. Think of like a pancake. For the most part, a pancake's a circle, right? I mean, it's not perfect,
Yeah.
but I mean, it just whatever. For the purposes of this, pretend it's a perfect circle. So we would find the area of that pancake using the formula of how to find a circle. Or maybe, and we're going to learn about irregular shapes, but a square of carrots. Um, you could probably do like an irregular serving. of carats would be a little bit more accurate. And I will show you here in just a second how to find the area of an irregular shape. That means something that's not a perfect circle or whatever. Okay, so maybe on Thursday you can do all of it at once. How does that sound for those guys who, couldn't take pictures?
Yeah, I guess I could try linking them and stuff again.
Okay. All right. Well, let's back up a little bit. And this video, it's going to start kind of easy. It's going to talk about regular shapes, but then towards the end, it's going to talk about the irregular shapes, which is what, most of our food is. I mean, I've never seen anything like be perfect. I'm going to be muting everybody, so you're going to be typing your answers into the chat because it'll ask you for some answers. Hate that intro. All right, here we go. Now, like I said, I know perimeter is pretty easy, but it's okay.
Chelsea and I are building a putting green in my backyard. We have already built a base shape like this.
Our plan is to cover the surface with a green outdoor carpet, but to do that, we'll need to know how to determine the area of the shape. Then we'll know how much carpet we'll need.
Before we build the green, let's take a look at how to determine the area and perimeter of irregular shapes.
Let's do that.
Here's a quick review of area and perimeter. This line is 1 unit in length. If we take 4 of these units and form a square, we end up with 1 square unit.
That's easy. It's a square.
These are irregular shapes. We can measure the area of these shapes in square units. And we can measure the perimeter of these shapes in units. Let's take a closer look at this shape. We'll find the perimeter of this shape. Remember, perimeter is the distance around a closed figure.
I think of it as the fence.
What is the perimeter of this shape? Enter your answer in the space provided, then click the check button.
All right, who can find the perimeter the quickest? And type it into the chat. Good, Sienna. Woohoo! 22. Okay, so all you had to do was add those up.
Let's find the perimeter of another irregular shape. Click on each side of the shape to find its length.
Okay,
Be sure to click every side.
Here we go again. Perimeter's easy, but...
What is the perimeter of this shape? You may use the calculator to find the answer.
See if you can
Enter your answer in the space provided, then click the check button.
Can you beat me with my calculator? Oh, I'm on my last one. Okay, so, all right, I added up all of those and 6.25. All right, a little bit more complicated.
It's easy to measure a perimeter of a shape that has straight edges. You just measure all the edges, then add up the total. It's a little trickier when you have shapes that have curved edges, like this one. What is the best tool for measuring the perimeter of the shape? Click on the tool of your choice.
Okay, so imagine this is your pile of peas. What would be the best tool to find the perimeter of the peas on my plate? A string. Very good.
Now to find the exact perimeter of the shape, we must measure the length of the string.
Okay, so
what is the perimeter of the shape? Enter your answer in the space provided, then click the check button.
Pretty easy. You got your string, you put it around the peas on your plate, and then you cut the string, and then voila, 7.
Let's use the same string to make a new shape.
It was inches.
What is the perimeter of the shape? Enter your answer in the space provided, then click the check button.
Oh, they're trying to trick you. But it's the same exact string. I just moved my P's around a little bit. Good. All right, so area. A little bit more complicated.
We've looked at ways to find the perimeter of irregular shapes. Now let's look at the area of irregular shapes. We'll find the area of this shape. Remember, area is the number of square units needed to cover a region. Let's see what happens if we place a grid over this irregular shape, like we do with regular shapes. What is the approximate area of this shape? Enter your estimate in the space provided, then click the Enter button.
All right, so what is your estimate for the area of the shape that we're looking at? Okay, Sienna's estimating 11, maybe 14. Corbin says 12. I'm going to type 12. 12 is my favorite number, so.
We can use the grid to count the whole square units that are covered by the shape. But what can we do with the partial square units? Watch carefully. We are able to make 4 whole square units by rearranging the partial units. Now we can add these square units to the other 8 square units to get a total of 12 square units.
Yay!
The area of this irregular shape is 12 square units.
Right.
Take a moment to compare your estimate with the actual answer. Click play when you're ready to continue.
You guys did good.
Click on 2 partial square units to form a whole square unit. Repeat this process until you've clicked on all of the partial square units.
Perfect.
When you're finished, click on the check button.
You guys are able to do this in your head now that you know how to find the area of an irregular shape. Good.
What is the area of this shape? Enter your answer in the space provided, then click on the check.
Yay! Right. Okay, so now we're going to measure.
I think we're ready to figure out how much carpet we'll need to cover our putting green. This is the shape of our green. We'll lay this grid over the shape to help us measure the area. Each square on the grid represents 1 square meter. Click on 2 partial square units to form a whole square unit. Repeat this process until you have clicked on all the partial square units. When you are finished, click on the check button.
Is anybody able to do this before I start moving them around? Okay, I think so. Good. Right. I'm moving them around now, so it'll be much easier to see. Okay, how many square units do we have here? All right.
What is the area of the shape?
Yay.
Now that we know how much green carpet we need, let's add it to the surface of our putting green. And we'll finish it off with the hole and the flag. It's time to putt. Click on the putt button to putt the ball.
Oh.
Whoops. We forgot to put a border.
Okay, the next part, they were going to put a border or a perimeter around the putting green. So now, if you have an irregular shape on your plate, I don't know, maybe some scrambled eggs or something, or if it's a fried egg, then it would be more like a circle. So we can learn about area of a circle here in just a second. But that's how you would find the area of an irregular shape. So now let's move on.
I got a square on my plate right now.
Okay. And I know, like I said, foods are definitely not perfect shapes. So, okay, let's learn a little bit about circles. I think most of you know what parts of a circle are, but we'll just quickly review and then we'll learn how to take the area of a circle.
Through the center circle, and actually,
hold on, it's kind of in the middle of the video. There we go.
And labeled the radius, diameter, center, and the circumference. Let me draw a circle. It won't be that well drawn of a circle, but I think you get the idea. So that is my circle. I'm going to label the center over here. So I'll do the center, I'll call it C. So that is my center, and I'll draw an arrow there. That is the center of the circle. And actually, The circle itself is the set of all points that are a fixed distance away from that center.
Where's your
And that
muffin
fixed
top or
distance
whatever?
away, that they're all from that center, that is the radius. So let me draw the radius. So this distance right over here is the radius. That is the radius. And that's going to be the same as this distance, which is the same as that distance. I can draw multiple radii. All of these are radii. The distance between the center and any point on the circle. Now a diameter just goes straight across the circle, going through the center, from one side of the circle to the other side, going through the center. And it's essentially two radii put together. So for example, this would be a diameter. That would be a diameter. You have one radii, then another radii, all one line, going from one side of the circle to the other, going through the center. So that is a diameter.
Okay. I think you guys know that, but if you need it, it's linked right here if you need to review. Now let's take it a step further and learn how to find the area of a circle, or whatever it is here. Okay, there we go.
Big each candy. So the candy, they say it's the shape of circular discs, and they tell us that the diameter of each wafer is 16 millimeters. So if I draw a line across the circle that goes through the center, the length of that line all the way across the circle through the center is 16 millimeters. So let me write that. So diameter here is 16 millimeters. And they want us to figure out the area of the surface of this candy, or essentially the area of this circle. And so when we think about area, we know that
Not
the area
candy,
of a circle,
healthy pancake.
the area of a circle is equal to pi times the radius of the circle squared, times the radius of the circle squared. You say, well, they gave us a diameter. What is the radius? Well,
All right, you guys are pretty advanced. Let's see if you could figure out the area of this candy that they're showing us. So we all should know that pi equals 3.14. R equals radius. So radius would be half of the diameter. So what's half of 16? 8. 8 squared. So you're going to be calculating 3.14 times 8 squared. Order of operations, what do you do first, though? You do this first. Do your exponent first. 8 squared. Type into the chat what you think 8 squared is. Good. 8 squared is 64. That's 8 times 8. So everybody calculate 64 times 3.14, which is what pi equals. Okay, so I'm going to give you a minute to do that and then type into the chat. I'm going to let him keep talking because he's going to ramble on.
well, you might remember the radius is half of diameter. It's the distance from the center of the circle to the outside, to the boundary of the circle. So it would be this distance right over here, which is exactly half of the diameter. So it would be 8 millimeters. So where we see the radius, we can put 8 millimeters. So the area is going to be equal to pi times 8 millimeters squared, which would be 64 square millimeters. And typically this is written with pi after the 64. So you might often see it as this is equal to 64 pi millimeters squared. Now, this is the answer, 64 pi millimeters squared, but sometimes it's not so satisfying to just leave this pi. You might say, well, I want to get an estimate of what number this is close to. I want a decimal representation of this. And so we could start to use approximate values of pi. So the most rough approximate value that tends to be used is saying that pi, a very rough approximation, is equal to 3.14.
Anybody
So
have
in
an
that
answer
case,
yet?
we could say this is going to be equal to 64 times 3.14 millimeters millimeters squared. We can get our calculator to figure out what this will
No,
be
you
in
don't need a
decimal form.
calculator.
So we have 64 times
Good, Corbin.
3.14 gives us 200.96. So we can say that the
Okay, so that is the area of, in this case, it looks like a chocolate wafer. So that's kind of what you're going to be doing, depending on what shape of food that you're working with. So that's why I have all of these videos linked for you. So if you need a little bit more on area and perimeter, please go back to this. If you need more on area of a circle, please go back to this link. And then I've also linked just basic formulas right here for you. So if you think you can figure it out without any further videos, here they all are, different shapes, okay, and the formulas for how to find area for different shapes. So what I'd like you to do again for Thursday is, if you have not done this portion size and serving size, go ahead and do that if you can. But then take it a step further, and I like to use the pancake example. It's probably the easiest one. Um, you're going to have maybe 3 pancakes or something. Well, find the area of a pancake using the formula for a circle, and then take a picture of it. Let us know. Let us kind of see. And then, or maybe you want to do, some mashed potatoes, whatever the food is. I don't care. It'll be kind of fun to see all the different things that you guys come up with. So your microphones are back on. Do you guys have any questions from today?
Mrs. Bruns?
Yes.
So does that mean we have to do it again? Or does it mean if we already did it, we don't have to do this particular project?
If you've already done it, like you've already found your portion size and measurement size, and we saw those pictures today, you don't have to do that again. But what I'd like you to
Okay.
do is find the area of a food. Okay.
Okay.
So.
But I sent you the my thing, by the way. I
Oh, you
just
did.
emailed it to
Like
you.
email or something. Okay. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to check that yet. But
So for anybody that didn't do the food project, we're doing the food project, then measuring everything.
yeah, and really, guys, don't go crazy. I mean, you only really need one example. Not a big deal. So just find something that you feel like you could find the area of. Yeah, something that just speaks to you that you're eating. You're like, hey, this would be a good one to do. So
Well, then I just found mine.